Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Foliage. In today's video I'm going to be talking about this absolutely beautiful Colocasia called as the white lava. Now it all depends upon your environment and climate, how you want to pot it. There are different methods of potting your Colocasias. Let's talk with the first one. A lot of people will grow them in pots with regular soil mix. Whereas you can even grow them in water, semi-submerged. Basically the roots have to be inside the water, like how you tend to grow the papyrus or your water lilies or lotus. Or you can go with this method as well, wherein you pot the Colocasia in soil and then you keep a small little tray which is filled with water. The reason is because these plants prefer a lot of moisture in the soil. They cannot sustain in dry soil. If your soil tends to dry out really fast, you will have to amend the soil. They prefer well draining, loose porous soil, but the soil should be consistently moist at all given point of time, otherwise the leaves will start to turn brown. Now because I live in an environment that is very dry, especially during the summers, the humidity levels can go up to 20%, which is not good for a lot of my plants, and hence I have to do a lot of misting and watering, and I have to keep a check on my plants. So in that case my Colocasia will definitely get damaged with that low humidity. So what I have done is, even though I have potted it in a loose porous well draining soil mix, but I have kept a tray so that the soil can be consistently moist and it does not dry out. I can even go with the regular potting mix, but then I will have to water my Colocasia probably once or twice every other day, which is going to be too much. So it's better that I can just put the water in this tray and let the soil start soaking in that moisture. It doesn't get overwatered, but it keeps the soil moist. Another important thing, these plants will not do quite well in direct sunlight. They prefer a good amount of indirect bright light, which has a good amount of intensity. That's the reason why I have not put this plant in my water lily pond, because the water lilies are out in direct sunlight. They get 6 hours of direct sunlight. If I'm going to keep this over there, this will definitely get burnt. So I've kept it in a place where it receives a good amount of indirect bright light. Now when I purchased this plant, the seller had only given me the stem. You can see it's completely dried out. The reason is because the leaves were very large and it would have been impossible to pack them in a box. So the seller had already told me that she's going to cut off the leaves, and I know that Colocasias tend to grow really fast, so there was nothing to be worried about. I'll put up the image of the unfurling. I could not take a picture of it. Probably it was half unfurled. That's when I took the picture, as you can see. And now it has completely opened up. The size of the leaves, this is the smallest size I can tell you, the leaf. It tends to grow very large. You can probably Google the images. The leaves can be almost 10 times bigger than this, so you can imagine. Right now I'm just using a 7-inch pot because it's a small plant, but as and when the plant starts to grow, I can increase the size of the pot. These plants require a lot of nutrients in the soil, basically a very organic rich soil, so you have to add fertilizers. I give the compost tea once a week, and that's more than enough because this water also has nutrients in it. They prefer a lot of nutrients in the soil. These plants grow in swamps. I'll try to put up an image of how the environment tends to look like, or the growing conditions of these plants. So we have to mimic a very similar kind of environment for them in order to grow. Now this is what is fun about gardening, because every other plant has a very different requirement and we have to research about the particular plant that we are about to get. Of course I can't keep my Coleus in that same kind of a condition, or my Aglaonema. If I'm going to keep the Aglaonema or the Coleus in such kind of condition, obviously both of them are going to rot. So every plant has very different needs. We have to research, understand them, give at least 1 to 2 weeks or 3 weeks to research about the plant completely, regarding the growing condition, the kind of environment, how much of light they require, what is the type of soil mix they need, where can you place this plant, how much of sunlight you receive. So all of these things have to be considered before buying any kind of plant. Of course there are certain plants like cacti, succulents, which will of course not do well in such kind of an arrangement. So it all depends upon the type of plant. So That's about it. Yes, another important thing, colocasias, alocasias are very prone to spider mites, so always do a visual check. It's always under the leaves, so you have to check under the leaves probably once in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. The moment you notice, you can go with any organic solution that you have. I tend to use neem oil spray, that tends to work out really well, but always do a routine check. Spider mites can spread really fast and they do get attacked very frequently, so always do a check. Keep the plant in a place where there is a lot of air circulation, lot of indirect bright light, and the plant will do quite well. Now talking about propagation, they do put out small little corns in the soil. They usually start at the root area and eventually they start to emerge out of the pot. So you can divide it as and when the plant starts to grow. There will be a lot of shoots that will start to come out as and when the plant starts to grow. So you can kind of do a division and place them in another pot. Pretty simple with propagation. They are not very fussy. They can easily be propagated. So that's about it, guys. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.